Start recording. Good evening and welcome to the third Wednesday Vesper service of the Unitarian Universalist Multiracial Unity Action Council. I'm Dr. Matthew Shear, and I'll be your host this evening. Our presenter, Reverend Denise Tracy, will preach on beloved community. Denise Tracy was ordained to UU ministry in 1974. And at the time, she was just the eighth woman to do so in our faith. She began as a campus minister in Hartford, Connecticut in 1976 and was called to our Lansing, Michigan church thereafter. Built the congregation up very nicely. And then 8 years, then she was on the original Women and Religion Committee and was a key part of the creation of the passing of those purposes and principles. And in 1984, she became the first of the new district executives of the UUA and was also the first woman and youngest person to ever hold such a job. She served 5 states and 75 congregations of the Central Midwest District for 8 years. During this ministry, she helped 19 congregations with building programs, consulted about all aspects of congregational growth and life. And then stepped down. She's since joined the staff of the Alban Institute, consulted with a variety of denominations for 17 years, and she has since now doing some interim ministry, and she and her husband have 3 adopted special needs children, 2 from Thailand, and they have a mixed race family, and Reverend Tracy says she's also 1/4 Native American, though she didn't say which one. So it now I should say, oh, yes, now I'm going to share a slide. So we do this and and here I practiced this and we'll see if my practice worked out. And share. Why, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. And so yes. And well, there's our next service will be August 20th. It'll feature Dan Kenny of DeKalb, Illinois, exploring Tim Shriver's Dignity Index and Dignity Pledge. And if you are joining us tonight because you got an email telling you so, you don't have to worry. You will be notified then. If not, there's the address, richard3point@gmail.com. And then you can get added to our list. And of course, we do archive, as you're seeing, things are being recorded tonight. You can always go to uumuac.org and scroll down to the link for third Wednesday services. There's a whole variety of them there. So, and chalice lighting is next. And Reverend Denise is going to do that for us.
Well, I have a chalice here, and I want to light it and tell you a story. My husband and I have 2 daughters that are adopted from Thailand, and in 35 years of parenting, I have learned much about openness and bias from being their mom. And our daughter and her husband and 3 kids live about a mile from us. And their next door neighbor sold their home and new people moved in. And after a few days, the new people asked my daughter, "Are you selling your house?" "No," my daughter said. "Why do you ask?" And then the new neighbor, and she lives in a very Hispanic area of Elgin. Elgin is 53% Hispanic, said, "Well, then who are those white people going in and out of your house?" And my daughter said, "What white people?" And they said, and the neighbor said, "Well, there's like these 2 old people that they're white and they keep going in and out of your house." And my daughter said, "That's my parents." And the neighbor said, "Your parents? But they're white." And my daughter said, "Yes, I'm adopted." And so I want to light this chalice today for all of the ways that we keep learning about being open and about our bias, and the ways in which we continue to be surprised by what we learn and what we think we know. I think my daughter had had never had anything like that happen to her before. And so now when my husband and I walk into her house, we wave at the neighbors because they now know who we are. So anyway, I'm going to put this behind here. And then I think the opening words are next. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. And the opening words are by Rebecca Parker, and they're choose to bless the world. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question: what will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice, anaesthetation, or evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting, that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping the faith, and the life of ritual and praise. I love those words.
And now it's time for our opening song. And here we go.
Do you guys want to come over here and see it?
I walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand. I felt the earth beneath my feet. Sat by the river and it made me complete. Oh, simple things.
That was
And
that was Public School 22 in New York City, and their choir has about 100 pieces that the kids have put online. And if you're ever depressed, go there and find a song and watch these kids sing. That was somewhere Why We Know by Keane. Sorry, Matthew.
oh, sorry. All right. So now we have it's time to share UMIAC's vision statement. I'm sure you're all eager to hear it. So it we envision our congregations, associations, and communities as not being colorblind, but color appreciative, as judging and treating people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin, their cultural heritage, or other identity, and as treasuring diversity in the context of Martin Luther King Jr.'s beloved community. We call this multiracial unity. And this is the goal for the unity of the light and dark-skinned peoples of the world. Now, there is one other little thing. I already told you that our next service, August 20th, for those who came in late. But UMIAC is not just about putting on these services. Why, we have 2 books now in publication. First one, Toward Multiracial Unity, Fighting Neo-Racism in Unitarian Universalism. Selected articles from our journal, the Mac Arrow, and you can look at past issues of that also at our website. And then our newer book, Neo-Racism, From Jim Crow to White Supremacy Culture, drawn from the writings of the Reverend Dr. Finley C. Campbell, our founder. And now it's time for the young at heart.
Yes. One of the things that I think is important about worship is to always give a simpler version of the message for the children that we used to have among us. The Sunday school has gone down about 80% in Unitarian Universalism, but that doesn't mean I think we should really pay attention to having a simpler message. And this is called 7 Words to Change the World. And I would like you to unmute yourself because this is a cooperative thing. So, because I'm going to ask you a question, I'm going to ask you questions, and 1 or 2 of you will be able to think of the answer. There are 7 words, 7, that if we use them more often would change the world and could change the world. And I'm wondering if you might think of what the first 3 would be. And I'm going to give the sign for the first 3.
I love you.
I love you, exactly.
Right.
If every one of us said, I love you more, and meant it more, and paid attention to all the ways in the world. So hold up, this is I love you. I love you. This is I love you in sign language. And so if you're ever in that setting, you can give this sign and people will smile at you. Can you think of another 2 words that if we use them more, might make a difference? And I'm going to give you the sign for it, and it's this. Anybody know?
Thank you.
Thank you. Exactly. Thank you, Margaret. So if we all were more appreciative and said thank you more, our world would be changed by the kinds of appreciation that we were spreading around and giving to one another. So I love you and thank you. There are 2 more words, and anybody have a guess what the last 2 might be?
Help me.
Yeah, that's a good one, but that's not it. What?
I'm sorry.
Well, my kids always would say, I'm sorry. And I think there's a better way to say it. And the sign for it is this. You put your hand out and you go like this, and that's the sign for forgive me. So what ends up happening is that a lot of times we say, I'm sorry, and well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But I think a more appreciative way of saying that is forgive me, forgive me. And so if we all said, I love you, thank you, and forgive me more often, I think that we would be happier and the people around us would be happier as well. So those are 7 words to change the world. Very simple message, but important. Okay. So now, Matthew, I think I pray. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. All right. You can all mute yourself again. All right. So please join me in prayer. Spirit of life, tonight I want us to be reminded of the places in our own hearts and minds where dis-ease and discomfort creates separation. May we love the discomfort enough to recognize and be open to learning from it. May we pay attention and uplift the places in the world where differences create war, places such as Palestine, Israel, Gaza, Ukraine, Russia, and the streets of our own country where right now ICE agents or our military are arresting people and taking prisoners, mostly illegally. May each of us pray for justice, understanding, and peace so that our globe might become a truly beloved community. Amen. Blessed be, and shalom.
You have a reading now, Denise?
I do. This is a reading by Naomi Shihab Nye. She wrote it in 1952, and it's called Gate A4. Wandering around the Albuquerque airport terminal, after learning my flight had been delayed for 4 hours, I heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate A4 understands any Arabic, please come to this gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. Gate A4 was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor, wailing. Help, said the flight attendant. Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be late, and she did this. I stooped to put my arm around the woman and spoke haltingly. Shudawa, Shubidak, Habibti, Stani Shway, Min Fadlik, Shubit Siwi. The minute she heard any words she knew, however poorly used, she stopped crying. She thought the flight had been canceled entirely, and she needed to be in El Paso for major medical treatment the next day. I said, no, we're fine. You'll get there just later. Who's picking you up? Let's call him. We called her son. I spoke with him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and I would ride next to her. She talked to him. Then we talked to her other sons just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad and he spoke and she spoke for a while in Arabic and found out, of course, that they shared 10 friends. Then I thought, for the heck of it, why not just call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling of her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She had pulled a sack of homemade mamul cookies, little powdery sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts from her bag, and she was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveler from Argentina, the mom from California, the lovely woman from Laredo, we were all covered with the same powdered sugar and smiling. There is no better cookie. Then the airline broke out free apple juice from huge coolers, and 2 little girls from our flight ran around serving it, and soon they were covered with powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend. By now we were holding hands. She had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing with green furry leaves. Such an old country tradition. Always carry a plant. Always stay rooted to somewhere. And I looked around at that gate of late and weary ones, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in, the shared world. Not a single person at that gate, once the crying of confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. I wanted to hug all those other women too. You see, this can still happen anywhere. and because of it, not everything is lost.
I believe it's time for our musical meditation. Do you want to say any intro about it?
Let's see. It is the Gay Men's Chorus, I believe, from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm trying to think of the title of it. I think it's
Make Them Hear You.
Make Them Hear You.
All right, so we just roll it?
Yep.
All right, then.
If you guys want to see.
Yeah. I should just quickly add that that was the Gay Men's Chorus combined with a group from Cuba called Mano a Mano. And so they added in the Spanish translation of the same lyrics. For those who, that's the expanded version. So, and now,
Thank you, Matthew.
yeah, there you go.
All right.
I believe
Sermon.
time for the main event. Here we go.
I decided I wanted to be a minister when I was 10 years old. I have never, ever wanted to be anything else. I was advised to study other subjects in undergraduate school, and so I chose literature and music. I still love both, and we have opening night tickets to every Broadway musical that comes to Chicago. I have seen Hamilton 6 times, so it may not surprise you to learn that I don't know whether you know this about me or not, but I believe that life needs to be more like a musical. If every once in a while, perhaps once or twice a day, life would be better if we would stop and sing a little number, do a tap dance or a soft shoe, smile at one another, and then continue on our way. I just consider that the frozen section of the grocery store would look better with people singing to one another. I think that would improve work and family and meetings and pretty much everywhere in life. We always do this at church. We sing together, we talk a little, we think a little, and then we sing some more. Pete Seeger believed that people singing together gives us a unified empowerment, and I think he's right. 2 summers ago, I did a vacation that I loved. I flew to New York City for 5 days, and in those 5 days, I saw 4 musicals. I arrived on Monday night. I saw a musical on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday, and returned home on Friday morning. One of the musicals we saw was a musical called Come From Away. This musical tells the story of the week following 9/11. In the aftermath of the collapse of the trade towers, there were 38 jumbo jets en route to New York City when the airport closed. They were diverted to Gander, Newfoundland, a small city which had a population of 10,000. Those 38 planes held 7,000 people and 19 animals. At first, it was thought the delay would be a few hours, but those hours became 1 day and then 2, and people asked what to do. The townspeople made 7,000 lunches. And before anyone got off the plane, they filled prescriptions, purchased diapers and female sanitary supplies. They got clothes because people were not they were not dressed for the climate. And the grocery store was completely empty, and the Walmart shelves were empty too. The town, after 2 days, decided to open its doors, and every single home in Gander, Newfoundland took at least one person in, if not more. The mayor said, "What we consider the most simple thing in life is to help people. You're not supposed to look at people's color, their religion, or their sexual orientation. You just look at them as people." The people of Gander fed, clothed, and housed and cared for nearly 7,000 people for a week. Gander was nicknamed Casserole City. All 50 states were represented in the passengers, and over 100 countries: Israel, Austria, Spain, Poland, France, the Philippines, Iran, Italy, England, Germany, Thailand, Belgium, Ukraine, Africa, the UAE, Russia. The list goes on and on and on. 7,000 people were the guests of Gander. At the end of 7 days, when the week was over, the Gander folks never asked for anything in return. Like the Jeff Bridges character in the movie The Starman, who says, "You humans are at your best when things are at their worst." The musical Come From Away illustrates and tells this story. 14 characters sing about the experience of being stranded and or hosting stranded people. A Black man who is getting off the plane sings of his fear of strangers in a strange community. 2 gay men sing of their fear of going to a house of people they don't know and being housed there. A female passenger whose son is a New York City firefighter calls all week long from her host's home to try to reach her son, and he does not answer. Finally, on the 7th day, she finds out that he has perished in the towers. When the all clear comes, what has happened is that connections have been made for a lifetime. Exterior barriers have disappeared, as has the fear of strangers. When asked what the travelers could do for Gander folks, one Gander pointed to a suggestion box on the library building wall. Well, really, what happened in the aftermath is that scholarships for children were set up and endowed with over $1 million in contribution from the 7,000 guests. People are still in touch. And two passengers who met each other in a house where they were staying got married. And they said, the people of Gander said, we did what anyone would do. The music is a kind of Irish music, a Newfoundland sound that can carry the story into both heart and mind. And for me, being in that theater, it was an indelible experience. People going through the worst, being their best. I was in Europe for spring break a number of years ago, in Brussels, the capital of Europe, and we were on the Grand Palace. There, suddenly, an East Indian man stopped, tapped me on the shoulder, and asked if I would take a photo of him and his wife and two children. "Where are you from?" I asked, and he said, "London." "Where are you from?" he asked. I said, "Chicago." I said, "Would you take a picture of us as well?" He said, "Sure." And so we smiled and chatted, took each other's picture, and we wished each other good day and have a good trip. I looked around me, and there I saw men holding hands with men, women walking arm in arm with each other, families of all colors and all styles of dress, old, young, smiling and happy, Asian, East Indian, African, Caucasian, all classes of dress. Women in dresses and high heels, women in shorts and flip-flops, men in shirts and ties, and men wearing t-shirts and sneakers. The people of the world were there before my eyes. Suddenly, the sound of an oboe soared, playing the song of Les Mis made famous by Michael Crawford. You know the one, "Bring Him Home." It flowed above and over our heads. Beautiful music soared above this diverse human family, and all the diversity was displayed before me. I listened and looked. I turned 360 degrees to absorb it all, and I still have the movie of that day in my mind. And I found myself with tears rolling down my face. The oboist was a young blonde woman, and she smiled as she played. When she finished the first song, she then played the Morricone piece from The Mission. And I thought, this is the world I want for my children and my grandchildren. I want this for all the world. People blended together, a world of no strangers where all are welcome, with some inspiring music thrown in as a soundtrack. Jane Goodall said, you cannot get through a single day without having some impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what difference you want to make. One of the reasons I love Unitarian Universalism is that in our worship, we can see the microcosm of our community, a story for children, joys and sorrows, a time of remembrance, silence, music, a shared need and shared resources. The service is tender, loving, nourishing. When one of us has a crisis, other people step up and step in to help. When we speak of beloved community, much of the time it's an abstract, distant idea. But the reality is, if you look at the screen in front of you, this is a beloved community. It's immediate, it's here now. And we are part of it, creating it for this evening. Look at one another, survey each other. Who is here that you know? Who is here that you want to know? This is a beloved community, experiences, conversations, shared, good relationships. Now, great relationships have both velvet and sandpaper, and I'm sure in the discussion afterwards, we're going to see a bit of that, which is expected in Unitarian Universalism. Great relationships adjust, adapt, change, and support. We can't have sunshine all the time. In community, we learn to become more human and to be beloved. On our trip to Belgium 3 years ago, we were visiting our foreign exchange student in Brussels. We now have known him for 20 years. And in communicating about schedules, Amaury is his name, said, "I must apologize. I have a family obligation that my mother insists that I must go to, and it is in the village of her family. It will be boring. You are invited to go, but you do not have to be obliged." I said, "Of course we will go with you." I did not know where or what the purpose of the trip was. We traveled from Brussels to a village called Elzel in the Dutch part of Belgium. We traveled through fields with lots of cows and brick houses and cobblestone roads. The rich smell of the earth, the beauty of a spring sky that was the color of Delft. When we arrived, it was to a cemetery where a tombstone marked one section of the cemetery, and there were 30 names engraved on it. In my halting French, I read the story. The Germans, the SS, had occupied Elzel for much of World War II. When they got the order to leave because the war was not turning in their favor, as they left Elzel, they took 30 men, all the fathers and breadwinners, to the edge of the village where they shot and killed them on their way out of town. Their bodies were discovered after the village was no longer occupied by the SS. 30 families were left fatherless. Amaury's great-grandfather owned a tapestry mill, which was the major industry in the village. He decided that he would create jobs for family members of these 30 men. He provided money for the education of every child of these 30 families, and he became, in essence, their personal parent. The 30 families existed and survived because of this tremendous person. The event that we almost missed was a celebration of the 50th anniversary of this man's death. The families, their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren gathered in front of this man's grave. The grave of the 30 people was huge, and the grave of the great-grandfather was a stone that was about the size of a computer, with just his name, not his story, attached to the larger stone. A band was there, as was his daughter, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. They were all honored with speeches and music. And we were obliged and so grateful to be witnessing this event. And although my French was not so fluent to understand the nuance of every word, what was communicated was a sense of family beyond name or specificity or heritage. The gift of education, income, career gave life to future generations. The Prime Minister of Belgium sent flowers to the family. I was called to the idea of beloved community. In some way, it is the most natural idea in the world. As we go through the world and what's happening in our country right now, we need to look for the heartwarming stories, not just the ones that hurt us. We need to find the ones that illustrate our capacity for being human and beloved. We need to find any stories, people giving blood or people helping hide people from certain capture. I'm a part of a critical incident stress management team, and every week there are firefighters and police who process and we help them process the aftermath of accidents. This goes on all the time, and as ice agents move into communities, the police and the firefighters are often called in to help afterwards. It's important for us to uplift how we can exemplify being the beloved community. We need to call, write, text, march, witness, testify, sing, yell, and preach. We UUs may not be in our, all the time doing this perfectly, but we must begin to work together and create the beloved community in our congregation so that we can be strengthened to be a beloved community always. I hope that you know that this gathering is part of a beloved community that's really important to Unitarian Universalism. Today's reading is about Gate A4, and it tells the story of a beloved community that happened one day at an airport in Albuquerque. Naomi Shihab Nye says, if this can happen anywhere, not everything is lost. Her words ring true. We make community sacred. We create beloved community every day. It is in our grasp and in our hands. We do not need to do one other thing but live our faith every day, and we will have what we all desire, a beloved community, here, now, tomorrow, and forever. Amen, shalom, and blessed be.
Thanks, Denise. And now this commercial message from Umiak. And we have a thing, we call it the offering, but we're not obviously not passing the plate here, but we do invite you to contribute to UMIAC, the Unitarian Universalist Multiracial Unity Action Council. And again, you can find us at uumuac.org. Membership is just $30 a year, and it is a Section 501c3 organization under the IRS code, which I believe means it is tax deductible. Now, we do have some closing music afterward. Denise, will you have a final word after our closing music or not?
Well, I thought we were going to have discussion.
Oh, no, yes, but I meant like a benediction.
Oh, sure, I can do that. Yeah, I
Okay.
can do that. All right.
Well, I can't wait to hear. Okay, so I believe now it's time for our closing music. So I'm going to see if I can take it away here. Boo, ba doo, boo, boo, boom.
You want to see this?
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.
Don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb.
There are oceans and rivers
Enough to cross, enough to last
till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.
Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow.
There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine.
Oh, listen, Lord,
If you wanna know,
if you wanna know.
what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
No, not just for some.
But for everyone.
I should add that I'm going to put in the chat, it's an all-star Broadway cast, and you can read up on it. It's quite a story there. So,
All right, closing words. May faith in the human community and hope in human love keep us ever growing and changing. Together, shalom, amen, and blessed be. Thank you for inviting me to do this.
well, thank you for being here, Denise. I think yes. And so we're going to end the recording, and I invite you to participate in discussion, but please use as Alan Lindrup has done, the raise hand feature. And if you're not sure how to do that, you can chat to Richard, our tech host, and he will try to help you out. Chat feature is in the menu bar at the bottom of your Zoom screen.